What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geek Out channel. This is another episode of Fight Talk with the BMAs, the basic MMA analysts, and we got some freaking fights to talk about. UFC 293, some exciting shit happened. But first of all, always joined by my boy K West. How you doing, brother?
I'm really good. I'm really good. How you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. You're almost ready to go to Thailand, right? One-way ticket booked. When is it? This week?
Thursday, my friend. Thursday. Yeah.
Thursday.
So I've
Wow.
literally been doing the rounds. I've been doing the rounds. I've been seeing old friends and new friends and just exchanging well wishes and stuff. It's such a surreal feeling to I don't know, like I didn't know how to I didn't imagine how it would be in my mind. I thought I probably kind of would see everybody in one go, but it's more like seeing them separately and having like intimate conversations about whatever things that they're at their point in life now, and sharing different things and ideas. And yeah, so it's like, you kind of realize, um, I guess, how much someone means to you or how much you mean to them when something big's going to happen, separation. So there's been a couple of things like that, and it's just been like, whoa, it's an eye-opening conversation. Like, wow, didn't know that's how you felt, and that's how I felt. So yeah, man, that's kind of what it's been like. It's different. It's different.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. I mean, it makes more sense, especially me being away for so long.
Relates to
Just
you big time. Yeah.
like again, it depends on the people. Some people like want big parties and all this sort of stuff. Oh, I'm leaving, celebrate it, which is a celebration in it because you're leaving for a good cause. But then, like you said, there's people that mean so much to you. It's not just about a big party. It's about kind of, it's not saying
Mm.
goodbye because you're going to see them obviously and be in contact and all that sort of stuff, but it's just that having that
Well wishes.
interaction, that bond
Hmm.
right there, not just party time. Like, no. I want to connect with you
Yeah.
right now, and then of course you'll see them in the future. You'll communicate how's life, how does it, but it means a lot. It means a lot to communicate, and it goes to show the value of those people in your life, and vice versa, you being a value in their
Yeah.
life and whatnot. I guess with most people, like it's just like, all right, you guys, let's gather up and do a quick celebration, goodbye. But with everyone else, it's like
Mm.
intimate and whatnot. Well, look, I hope you're
Yeah.
prepared and whatnot. Like I said, it's not forever, but of course, you're going on a journey, man, for however long, however many years or whatever, wherever it takes you. And it's exciting, bro. It's definitely exciting. It's definitely going to move you in places that you never know where it heads to.
Didn't
So
expect.
it's just
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm expecting a challenge. I'm expecting a hard, like tooth and nail kind of thing initially. Like I expect to work through the trenches. Like, and what actually one of my friends, like he's Danish, Imani. I call him Imani's last name. But yeah, Imani. I call him by that because he has the 5-star beard. You know, like
Okay.
he's got like a Amani beard. It is perfectly lined up, kind of.
Got it. Got
Anyway,
it.
I worked with him in my last kind of like job, like computer, and we came in as temps during the busy time. It was like a summertime, and we just worked our ass off, and we we got hired for a permanent job before our probation because we were fucking good workers. And he was going through what he was at his time, and I was doing my madness at my time. And we were able to disconnect from there, and and then we connected further, and then we just life moved on. We went through the pandemic. I thought by those things we would probably kind of move, the relationship would kind of dissipate just because we're not seeing each other as often. But it was a real relationship. We talked about those ones that are what's the word? Circumstantial friendships. You meet them at work and then you move on and it's
Mm-hmm.
dead. I mean, yeah, but we had that real bond. So it was like, so anyway, we kept it going and everything. And it's like, he's like, last time I saw him, his situation is like, damn, like he's about to do something crazy. In his relationship and so on and so on. It's like, wow, like you're taking on this. I respect you for telling me and so on and so on. And he gave me it straight. He's like, you're gonna do this thing. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? I've had situations like this, and it's like it's the kind of things that are hard to hear sometimes from people. But I know him. He's very direct, brash, and he's a 5D thinker. So he's gonna give you the stuff that's on your mind that most people will have to say, but they either know you enough to not ask you it, or they don't want to because it's a bit deep. He don't give a fuck
Mm.
about that. So we were talking, and I was like, I'm really glad that it came from you, because I hadn't seen him for a while, and I kind of him saying certain things reminded me of who he is and why I like him so much.
Mm.
Is thinking. Um,
Yeah.
so anyway, all
No,
of
that
that
makes sense. I
is
mean, because I always say real friends will be, I mean, it depends on the conversation and what you got, but real friends would always check you and be real with you. If you done something wrong, or if you whatever it is,
yeah,
a true friend will tell you, nah, you're wrong, man. You shouldn't have done that, or you shouldn't think like that, or whatever it is. Whereas fake friends will just support you no matter what you do. And that would take you down the wrong road. But then also, as you
yeah,
said, you got different friends that give you realism, or they just, they think about things different. Like, before I was buying my car, I would speak to my brother and another friend about the car itself, and no one's heard of it or whatnot. So what do you guys think? I
yeah.
know them, they'll go do their due diligence and research on the car and give me their feedback. And then I spoke to another friend about finance because I know he's good at money, and he would tell me this,
Mm,
and that. This is a good rate, that's not a good rate, whatever it is.
mm,
But it's always great to just, you need people like that, you know what I mean? Like, I respect their
mm,
opinion because we call it a thing where they just kill the excitement, right? When someone tells you some realism, where it's like, oh, you just killed
mm.
the excitement. But it's like, I need
Yeah,
that
yeah,
though.
yeah.
Like sometimes,
I
like,
needed
I'm
that.
like, yeah, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm excited, I'm gonna get this, or I'm whatever, whatever. And then someone's like, yeah, but have you thought about that? And you're like, oh, you're killing my excitement. But
yeah.
it's like,
It's
no, that's
killing the
necessary. Like,
vibe. Yeah.
yes, you kill the vibe, it's
You
funny,
need
it's
people.
whatever, it hurts. I don't want to hear it, but I do need to hear it and that's why I
Yeah,
value those people's opinions. I'm like, listen, man, kill the vibe. I need you lot to kill the vibe. Tell me
yeah,
what you
yeah.
think.
Keep it.
So yeah, man,
Yeah,
that's good.
maybe a little bit. Yeah, just in the dream a little bit.
Yeah,
Not on the face, you know. Yeah, so that was good. It was like, I thought about this stuff. I appreciate you. Like, I'm glad. I appreciate you for saying those things because they're in my head, but I might not have said them. And sometimes it takes for someone to say, "Yo, have you thought about this underlining moment here?" And you're like, "Yeah, oh, thank you. I got it covered. I'm thinking about this. Oh," and then it might turn into another conversation. So it was like that. It was like someone kind of just going through your file. Have you got file 725? Yeah, I got it. Okay, cool. So yeah, it's good when people actually, that they value you and they care your life, your well being. They want to see you do well. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy. I've got people like
Cool, man. Nice, nice, nice. Almost there, man. Almost there. So
humbling,
couple more days, man. So
humbling.
next week, hopefully, when we catch up, you will be in Thailand, and
Yeah, man. I'll be
yeah,
there.
man.
Like, wait, what's by that time I would have fully settled down to a degree, so it should be easy to have conversation and everything and whatever.
We'll we'll
Yeah,
communicate and figure out our
it's gonna be
timings.
easy because I'm not gonna be in transit like I thought I would be.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. 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 Well, look, man. Let's get into it. I mean, I
Your week, man.
apologize in advance. Huh?
How's your week been? Tell me about your week. What have you been doing? How's things? How's the car? How's like work? How's life?
Yeah.
Tell me. Talk.
Everything's been cool. I mean, look, everything last week was a bit of a struggle. When I say struggle, it's also so much successes that happen, but the struggle, um, sometimes the struggle just overtakes, but then you forget about the successes that happen. But when I mean struggle, I got the car last week, which was amazing, and we've been enjoying
I
that.
saw that. I saw you unveiling. I saw you
Yeah,
unveiling. I was
and
like,
those,
oh, this guy's serious.
yeah, no, yeah, and there's a lot of stress. Yeah, the unveiling. I know it was. I wasn't even dressed for the
Yeah,
occasion, but basically
I saw
Monday,
you
Tuesday,
because
Wednesday was very stressful trying to sort that all out. Basically, like typical Dubai fashion. But again, I didn't recognize the successes that were happening every day. Now I could sit back and recognize them. But at the time, it's hard, and this is what I'm trying to learn. But at the time, I was succeeding in a couple of things. Things were achieved each day for Wednesday to happen and for me to get the car. Anyway, man, we got the car, really enjoying it. Like I said, I wasn't dressed for the occasion because I was on the way to training, thinking, all right, I'm not getting a car today. Let me go train. And on the way there, the guy phoned me, was like ready to pick up. So anyway, we've done an unveiling, which was kind of awesome. And then
mm,
just been getting to know the car, to be honest with you, understanding it, trying to drive it around, understanding technology. Right now, it's a big SUV. I've never driven something like that. So right now, I'm just trying to drive it as a machine and understand it as a machine. And let me understand you. Let me drive you. Let me understand the size of this thing. And then
Oh
after,
my
I'm going to
God.
let the AI take over. And I'll let the AI drive. I guess it will drive me after.
Whoa. Are you listening to yourself?
Yeah,
Like
it's crazy.
when I put this back, yeah, I'm gonna make sure that I edit this nicely. You were wearing what top, by the way?
What, for the unveiling?
Yes,
Spider-Man top.
it was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who did you
I
thought
really
it
thought it
was?
was Iron Man.
Iron
I thought it was Iron Man.
Man.
And I was just like, we're talking about I'm gonna talk to this machine and use AI, and I'm just like, I
Yeah,
am
forward it.
Iron
Well, I mean, look, Spider-Man's new suit
Man.
had an AI in it as well, from the comics
Yeah,
and
it did do that.
from the
Yeah, it did.
movies.
Fair enough.
Smart tech, but no, it's
Yeah.
been interesting, man. It's been great. It's great to have a car. I've had a different kind of joy that I didn't
Mm,
think I would have, but a different kind of joy. Yesterday, I
mm.
done a little cleaning. I bought a whole cleaning set, and just out there, just kind of admiring it and whatnot. Haven't felt like this since
Oh, yeah.
my Vauxhall Nova, which I had over 20 years ago. But it's a different thing. That was a 1984 machine. This is a 2024 robot or AI technology machine. I mean, it's a different thing. But overall, it's
Mm,
amazing. I'm very
yeah.
happy. And then it was the missus' birthday on Saturday, so I just took her to the
33,
Dubai.
right?
33, yeah. So I took her to
33, yeah, yeah.
the Lost Chambers Aquarium, which is like the biggest aquarium
Ooh.
in Dubai, sort of thing. And I
Oh,
think that was quite good. And then we done it was simple. To
mm,
be honest with you, it was like a normal aquarium, but we done like a little tour thing, and it was great to kind of know
mm,
about how they look after the fish, how they,
mm.
attend to sick fish, how
Cultivate
they get
them and
new fish, how they
mm,
breed fish,
mm,
how they feed them,
mm,
different kind of fishes, and the
mm.
charts that you see of like, I can't remember the number. I think it's like 180,000 pieces of like food that they have to feed all these different fishes in a day and whatnot. And how they feed the different fishes. You don't just throw it in there and let it free fall, because it's a big tank full of
Throw it in there, right?
sharks and stingrays and all this type of
Yeah,
fishes and whatnot. So
right.
it's interesting. And then
Exactly,
also I
exactly.
got a chance to hold a megalodon tooth, which was crazy.
Oh,
Size of my
megalodon.
bloody hand. Yeah. And then the great thing was we were
It's a
taking a picture.
megalodon.
And as we were taking a picture, a stingray came up and kind of took a picture with us. It was kind of sick. I mean, the timing was just what it is, but it was, I don't know if you saw on my Instagram, it was literally me and my wife, and then he came here. I called him Ray, and he just came there. And if you look at the bottom of the stingray, they got
Oh,
they got their face, and he had a
it's got a
smile
little
out,
smile. Yeah, yeah,
kind
yeah.
of had his tongue out, and I was like, this is crazy. This is amazing. So we
You
we
gotta
enjoyed it.
send me that picture so I can put it in the.
Yeah. So it was pretty awesome. It was a pretty awesome
Yeah.
weekend. And that's it. Trying to get back into last week. I didn't train at all because of trying to get the car sorted, and I'm so stressed and whatnot. This week I want to get back to routine, and I'm already stressed today because builders that came last week that didn't finish the work have come back this week, and it's just like, no, I'm not missing training today. So today I've got to go training. This week I got to go
Mm.
training because I missed all of last week. It's okay. Take a little rest, I guess, but get back into it this week. And that's it, bro. I mean, that's it. Other than that, the week's been cool, man. I mean, we had some
Training?
training last week. I didn't train. This week I'm
No, no,
gonna
no.
train.
How you feeling? As
Body's
in me,
feeling
how
great,
you feeling?
Body is
Yeah.
feeling better,
Okay.
man. I think, I've had less injuries in the last year than I have in the last couple of years. I think it's due to a couple of things, in my opinion.
Mm.
One, I do think maybe because I'm not training as early, like waking up 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning and training, and just giving my body that time. I mean, I always used to wake up to a yoga routine and whatnot, but maybe one, that now allowing my like training in the evenings, my body's just kind of warmed up and whatnot. Two, I think it's the sleep. I think my sleep's a bit better, but I'm giving myself more time to sleep and recover. And three, I do a proper warm up. I go to the class, and 45 minutes before to do a proper warm up of all my muscles, my joints, walk backwards on the
Mm.
treadmill, do some rowing,
Yes.
do
Oh
some,
yeah, you do that, don't you?
yeah,
You and
all of
me.
that sort of stuff. Just before, I don't jump into, especially grappling training. I don't jump into any grappling training without a proper 20-30 minute warm up. That's what my body has to do. And then, the yoga and the little joint movements and stuff that I'm doing. So I think
Yeah.
my body is a lot better than it was a couple years ago. My ankle hurts sometimes here and there. The one that I tore the ligament on years ago, but that one, you know, it's always going to be there. But yeah, no, it's good, you know, and I just want to carry on training, just kind of maintain and get back into it.
Sounds like you know what you're doing. It sounds like you're feeling a lot better. Let me know if you need anything for your ankle, by the way. Can you tell me afterwards? But I just want to know like what kind of pain it is and so on, so I can identify and give you the correct treatment for it.
All right, I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, we'll speak on WhatsApp about that.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that, man. Cool, man. Well, look, on that note, let's get into some fights because we had a crazy weekend of fights, UFC 293 in Australia. And I want to make sure we spend some time on it because the builders are going to come back in about 30 minutes.
Of course.
But man, listen, UFC 293, Israel Adesanya versus Sean Strickland. And I made predictions, and I think a lot of people made predictions that standing up, Israel's just going to take him out, right? He's just a master at what he does. He's beautiful at his timing, his range, his skill set, all that sort of stuff. Now, Sean Strickland's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but he's very... And when I say this word, I mean it from a fundamentals perspective. He's very basic, right? Fundamental with the basics. And what he did yesterday was absolutely amazing. And you know, whatever Sean Strickland says, I actually find him entertaining, but also from a second perspective, some things I agree, some things he goes a bit too far, but some things I agree with him, some things I don't. And he's speaking up for certain things. And he's very wild with it. He's a wild man. But man, what he did yesterday, man, beating Israel Adesanya in a striking battle, and using, like I say, the fundamentals of boxing. He used a couple kicks, but fundamentals of boxing. And to me, in my opinion, he won by the basics and fundamentals of boxing, putting Israel Adesanya on the back foot the whole fight. So he made Israel fight off the back foot the whole fight. And then lastly, just amazing defense. I mean, he has that Philly shell thing that he's been able to adapt to MMA because he's not fully to the side, but he's kind of straight. He's kind of straight for MMA, right? So you can kind of stop some takedowns or whatnot, not get fully leg kicked and whatnot. Because he was good at checking a couple of leg kicks from Izzy. But he has adapted his own Philly shell style for MMA. And I think he won by those three things: basics, pressure, and defense. And it was absolutely amazing. That first round, you know, I've got my reaction up on YouTube. I could not believe he clocked Izzy hard. And I thought he was going to finish it there and then, but he done a great job. And then, you know, Izzy at the end, true champion. I love Izzy to bits. True champion, you know, he praised. He quickly came to the press conference, said, you know, I need some time. I'll come back to you and I'll address you a lot later. And then he's off, you know. But he's a true champion. He is one of the best of all time. I mean, I think Anderson Silva, end of the day, numbers and facts, still puts him as the greatest middleweight of all time. In my opinion, I mean, I'm just a biased fan towards Anderson Silva. But I think Izzy will come back strong. I mean, I think Izzy on a rematch is going to be dangerous. What was your thoughts, man?
You cut out when you mentioned about Anderson Silva. What was your comparison?
I think I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think his stats way up more, obviously, because he didn't lose for the longest time. So I think he had like, I don't know, I think it was a 60, I can't remember. I think it's 16 fight title defenses. I think it was 16 or something up there. It was high. 11, 12 maybe title defenses without losing. So, you know, Anderson Silva, I think he still holds that title of just, you know, the numbers of being a GOAT. Let's not say the GOAT, but a GOAT, because there's so many GOATs. I think greatest of all time is such a word that you throw out there. I guess Muhammad Ali made up that word, but it's difficult when you try to put it on one person because time changes and all this sort of stuff. But just one of the greatest, put it that way. But Izzy, listen, man, Izzy's a master, and I think he's gonna come. They're gonna come back different in a rematch because they're gonna do the rematch, I believe. What was your thoughts on the fight?
And I was gonna say, we've seen what he does in rematches. Apart from the fight with Robert Whittaker, where it was controversial to a degree, you know, he spent a lot of time on his ass. But against Pereira, I mean, he's lost most of them in the kickboxing world, but he's able to get back on him in MMA. So, you know, he is capable of coming back from a loss, and it not like he got devastated. He just didn't take nothing away from Strickland. Adesanya looked real basic. It looked like he just didn't have the answers for Strickland. It's like nothing was working. Strickland wasn't really biting for his feints. And I was looking at it and thinking, you know, of course, as well, he's going to Philly shuffle. He's adding pressure. Boom, 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 bam, bam, coming in and just continually cutting off the cage and making Izzy back up, which was amazing to see because that's normally not what Izzy does. Obviously against Pereira, he had no choice. He had to dance around. He had to avoid the cage, play possum, caught him. But yeah, I mean, Strickland is probably one of the biggest upsets this year. You feel?
They're calling it one of the biggest of all time. Like, I mean, last one, like they call it one. I guess they call it one. I don't know why, because I don't think Strickland is. I don't know why. I mean, the last time, like they were talking about 10 years ago, what was it? Ronda Rousey lost against Holly Holmes in Australia, and they're kind of doing a comparison.
Whoa. That's 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Can you believe that? Think about 10 years ago. Can you believe that?
2015?
50, so it's not 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago.
Oh my God.
But
shit, man.
yeah. I don't know if it's the biggest. You know what it is? Just on paper and the way you look at it, you're like, nah, Izzy's gonna smoke this dude. But Sean Strickland, like I said, man, so fundamentals, and he done like, wow, the guy's a psycho. All he does is just spar. I think even though he does the fundamentals and whatnot, because he spars so much, I think it's like elevated his reflexes, elevated his response times, it's elevated his cardio, because it's just literally what he's doing, fighting. You know what I'm trying to say? And I think that's why his defense works so good. I mean, look, against Pereira probably set it up or whatnot, or maybe, but again, Sean Strickland's so amazing. And this is why I got respect for him, because yes, everyone gone through shit in their life, including him, right? And some crazy shit. But he goes back and he learns from it, man. Look, Pereira beat him. And what did he do? He went and trained with him. And whatever he learned from him, he obviously learned something from him. But he went and trained, and you got to give Sean Strickland credit for him, man. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of him. I was a fan before because he was funny and he would say shit. But then after what he did, I was just like, man, good for you, man. Like, it's a bit of a shame because against Izzy, and I'm an Izzy fan, right? But it's still he's still an amazing guy. Yeah. He's not like, how do I pull it, man? Like, for example, Kobe Covington, he's also funny as well. But you don't want, I don't know if you want him as a champ because he's such a bad guy, quotation marks, like acting. He plays the heel. So you're like, I don't want that guy as a champ. Yeah. But with Sean Strickland, there is a great story there, man. A guy who has overcome so much in his life. And yes, he does talk loud and he speaks out, but I feel like that's a great story. And I think I like him for that. You know what I mean? He's overcome a lot in his life. So I'm a fan of his. You've frozen.
I summarize he's overcome a lot in his life. Like, what happened? You hear me now?
Yeah, back. It's back now. Yeah.
No?
Yeah, it's back.
Yeah. Okay. You said, okay, cool. You said he's gone for a lot in his life. Like, give me a couple things. I don't know.
Well, this is all public, and he was on Rogan's podcast talking about it, and he spoke about it before. Like, he grew up obviously abusive father and all that sort of stuff, and then when he was young, he was angry. He was a neo-Nazi. He had issues with racism, like racism, bias, thoughts, and whatnot, and all that sort of stuff, and doing, I guess at that time, maybe doing little criminal stuff here and there, but he could have escalated. You know what I mean? He was a neo-Nazi. He joined all that sort of shit, and then when he joined an MMA gym, it was that really kind of took him away from all that shit. And he was saying it at the press conference or after the fight, I think what it was, that after what he realized, I mean, obviously he learned well, but what he realized when he joined the gym, like Mexican and Black people were the ones that helped him in his life and didn't push him away. And the ones that he loved, be it, his own people or whatnot, were the ones that were abusing him and push him away and everything. But these are the sort of things, he kind of overcame. And it's just, again, it's a success story. It's a story of someone making it. And I love that about him. And with Izzy, Izzy might have just had a bad day. I mean, look, man, I can't compare myself all, but I'll never forget my second fight where I just froze. My second fight ever, I just froze and I just couldn't do anything. And this same guy who beat me the second time, my last fight, I had a rematch with him and I destroyed him in that one. I had a great fight, a great performance, but it was the second one, something happened. I froze, and I'm not comparing myself. I'm just saying, even the greatest, not me, I'm talking about Izzy being one of the greatest of all time, one of the greatest strikers. Maybe something just put him off and he froze, or just had a bad night, whatever it is. So I'm not comparing myself, but I'm just saying I feel like I kind of understand, because I've been there where I just froze and couldn't do anything in that fight. But then when I had the rematch, I was flowing, Superman punches, takedowns, bobbing and weaving. I remember I was just so much more, my mind, whatever was on it then. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of throw it out there. Maybe you just had a bad day at the job. It happens.
Yeah, because it's you can see
Connection's not good, brother. Connection's not good. I can't. Yeah, you're kind of sounding like the Matrix.
He seemed like he'd, it's like when you know.
Yeah, it's just kind of in and out, bro. Very in and out, sort of connection right now.
There's not. I'll see what I can do, but there's not a lot I can change. I'm not in my normal spot.
Yeah, it's
The
all
Wi-Fi is
good.
kind of.
Yeah, all good.
Is it okay now?
Nah, it's still kind of freezing.
Yes.
Maybe what might work is if you turn your camera off. I mean, at least people can hear your voice. Maybe that might help with the connection. Sorry, guys, technical issues, but hopefully you can hear Slick, and you might not be able to see his pretty face. Go on, speak, brother.
What about now?
Yeah, see, that sounds better. Let's try that.
That sounds better. Okay, all right. I was just saying, it seems as if, like, with Izzy, when you play, like, you play Street Fighter 6, right? And you get like a certain kind of combo that you use, and they work and they work and they work, and so you got that constant the well that you go to, and this move is always going to work for you, like, no matter what. And you get to this opponent where it's just like, that just doesn't happen, and then you don't you kind of try your other things, and you always go back to that same move that always works, but it's just not biting. And it seemed like that's what it was with him. He just didn't, those things that normally work for him, Strickland, just the fundamentals of his boxing just nullified all of that, because a lot of things what Izzy does is he scares you, he makes you second guess, and Strickland's just like, nope, I'm going straight forward. I'm not interested in that. Philly shuffle, 1-2. And that's what it was. It was almost, it's kind of what I think Dricus probably could have been with him, just going direct juggernaut, taking the punches, taking the kicks. I noticed a lot of Izzy's low kicks missed. And I thought, wow, you noticed that too.
And they're being checked as well.
They were being checked, and they were being dodged. And I'm thinking, wow, like, those normally are his kind of go-tos, the little combos in Street Fighter. I'm talking about a little easy move that you can always get your points and get your licks in, and it just was not coming off. And I'm thinking, early on, that's different. That's not right,
Yeah.
So,
I mean, obviously,
you're
you got
right.
to give to Strickland's corner as well. They probably put a good game plan, I mean, in the sense of like, yeah, like, stick to your basics, Sean, like, be you, but here's a couple of things that we need to look out for.
Because as well as that, Strickland, their style, like, when you look at it, Izzy's kind of a counter striker most of the time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you say that he is? Kind of like Leo Machida, bait you, throw a lot of feints, you go in, boom, you crunch, kind of thing.
Yeah, Anderson
He
Silva
does a
is a
lot more.
perfect example as well.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking of him as well, but I know that he had his moments where he would attack, but normally, yeah, you're right. Very, 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 very elusive. Uh, Bruce Lee, throw the shadows, do all the magic, and then beat him to the punch, or can defend at the same time, Jeet Kune Do kind of stuff. But with what's his name, he didn't bite anything. He didn't bite the feints, and that's normally a big part of the game, which gives Izzy the fluidity, because now he can trick you, he can play with you, he can spam your controller. He's got your number. But Strickland, with the fundamentals that he put onto it, he gave him no room to even do any of those things, and that
Yeah.
was that was the biggest point. Didn't even do wrestling. Did not even do much wrestling, did he?
Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, it was crazy.
From what I
And
recall.
I think it's also like,
No,
every
that's it. Yeah,
technique
yeah.
with Izzy, obviously he's amazing at what he does in striking and whatnot. But I think maybe, this is just my assumption, everything he does is one, like you said, counter-attacking. Two, it's kind of like I've got a
Yeah.
solid base to do my techniques, or I'm moving forward to do my techniques. But I don't know how much of that he's training always being on the back foot. And that's what Strickland put him on. For the whole 5 rounds, everything was on the
Yes,
back foot.
yes.
How much was
Off the
he
back foot.
training on the back foot? How
Yes.
much of your
Back
countering,
foot.
your
Yeah.
movement, your kicks, your question mark kicks, are you practicing going
Yes.
backwards? And that's what I
Very
think
good point.
something that kind of nullified a little bit of
Yes.
Izzy's techniques and whatnot.
Yes. Very, very good point. Yeah, that's very true because yeah, we don't really see him in that position. And when he does, he plays possum, which he did, and it didn't really work in one of the rounds. If you remember that, I think Strickland went down the pipe, and he went for that round kind of the same hook that he gave Whitaker, but he missed it. So yeah,
Yeah.
very good point. I think he took away a big part of his game. Strickland, their team, masterful.
Amazing. It's so good. I mean, like I say, man, I want Izzy. I'm a big Izzy fan, so I do want him to come back. I like Strickland, though, I have to say, man. And like I said, in a weird way, I feel like he's crazy, of course. He says some crazy shit. But to some people, what that crazy shit he says, there's some people might agree with it. I listen when he was sitting there and he was calling him Chinaman or whatnot. Okay, it's going a bit too far, saying certain things or whatnot. But then he said certain things. He was like, "Well, how come you never use your platform to, talk about the concentration camps in China, what they're doing with the Uyghur Muslims?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, Sean Strickland is spitting it right now. He's fucking putting it on them, and nobody talks about that. You know, what I mean, it's what." People talk about in certain news and whatnot, but not many people know about that's happening in China, unless you listen to
That's a
certain news
point.
podcasts and whatnot. But for Sean Strickland to do that in a UFC fighting press conference as he's trying to, I don't know if you want to say he's insulting thing. He's just basically trying to, in his head, saying it how it is. And he's bringing that up. I'm like, nobody's talking about that about the Uyghur Muslims being literally like in concentration camps, and there's a genocide going on in China by trying to program their minds, right? Because they're Muslim or whatnot. And Sean Strickland is the one that's putting it out there. I'm like, this guy, that's something I agree with. You're trying to, he finds things that some people you don't agree, but that you're like, oh, I agree with that. That's fucking amazing that he's putting that out there. So I praise him for that, man.
Yeah. He's polarizing for sure. He's definitely polarizing that he had come back.
Sorry, bro, you're cutting out again, bro.
That American History X with a better.
Sorry, guys, technical issues. We lost K West, but he should be back with some, hopefully with a better connection. But yeah, I mean, listen, I praise, as I was saying earlier, praise Strickland for that. Are you back, bro?
I am. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Go on, say what you were gonna say. You were saying?
Okay, I'm gonna try video.
I don't know if
I was saying that Sean Strickland.
No, go on.
I was saying that Sean Strickland's story has a hint of American History X with a better ending.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good comparison.
Thank you. I didn't know he came from that backstory, but that those kind of things shape a lot of people, and I guess because he's the other.
Sorry to cut you. Actually, when you say a better ending, it's definitely a great ending. But Edward Norton in that movie obviously changed his perspective because same thing. Like in prison, it was the brothers and colored people that kind of looked after him, and his own people was the ones that turned against him. And it kind of was like Sean Strickland, same sort of thing. Like his own people were the ones that were pushing him away and whatnot. But yeah, no, carry on, bro.
Yeah, no, I that's why I made that point, and then I'm in a better ending because obviously his brother got killed in the movie, whereas
That's true. That's
Strickland's
true.
become the champion. I don't know what's happened in his life. Maybe there was a tragic incident, but as far as I know, he got to the better side of life, and now he's a champion. So, what was I trying to get with all of that? Yeah, he understands, both sides of the coin. So I feel like people that only have one view and have only lived one style of life, they're gonna stay stubborn with their own truth, their own version of the truth. But he's been through both sides and seen and called, you know, brothers and sisters and other races probably derogative terms, and then been on the other side and been defending those same people. So, people like that, humans like that, they are the ones that can probably speak the most truth, even though people don't like it. They're not more qualified than anybody else, but they've seen both sides of it. They've been that person on the bad side, and they've been that person on the neutral, and you know their viewpoints are a lot more neutral than most.
Definitely. You got a good point. As bad as it sounds, because you don't want anyone to experience that bad side of being a racist and being a whatever, right? Because nobody should think like that or be like that. But what you're saying, I think, makes sense because he was that. There's so much education that he got from that. And when you say education, of course, it's all bad education, right? Because he was influenced with whatever. But it's education, nevertheless. I'm trying to say it's what not to do. Why did I think like that? That was wrong thinking. Why was it wrong thinking? Like, he can actually see it, not just be like, oh yeah, I mean, and again, no one should ever think like this and whatnot, but just to be like, oh yeah, racism's wrong. Of course it's wrong. You know what I mean? There's no question about it. He's just been there to see exactly what racists think about. You know what I mean? Like, this is why they think this fucking stupidness or whatever.
There you go. Yeah. So he's that guy, man. He's Sean American History X Strickland.
he's awesome, man. Listen, I look forward to listening to him talk. I'm not gonna lie, I do. And especially after, like I said, after this fight and after the press conference here, what he openly spoke about with certain things. And like I said, he made it relatable to me as a Muslim, for example. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, if he spoke about that, then I'm like, well, okay, wait, you just built a connection with me in that one example. Of course, it was more, but in that one example, like, oh, there's a connection there that you just did, that as a real human being. Like, who else is doing that? You know what I'm trying to say? You can see camera's on for now. Hopefully it sticks, But well, look, bro. Look, I'm sorry, man. I gotta cut it short. I got 10 more minutes before the builders come back and whatnot.
Let's move next fight.
Let's go through the rest of the card. Yeah, let's go through the rest of the card, because it was a short and fun card. When I say short, I mean there was a lot of knockouts. The next fight was a heavyweight fight. Tai Tuivasa versus my thing's not working.
Alexander Volkov.
Alexander Volkov. I predicted it will go that way. I just think Volkov is just a bit more precise with his striking and whatnot. That choke finish was amazing. The Ezekiel choke, which I can't remember the other guy who made it popular in that, but that was amazing. I didn't see that happening. But what do you think of that fight?
OSP. No, is it OSP? OSP.
No, OSP was the Von Flu choke.
Oh, the Ezekiel. Oh, Olinsky. Olinks.
That. Yeah. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
And throws them sledgehammer. This guy. I didn't actually see this fight, all of it. I only saw like the very beginning, and then chaos occurred. So I didn't see it.
Well, just used his Alexander used his his range and whatnot to kind of fight more. I thought, just be a bit more precise with his striking and whatnot. And then he did use, I mean, Ty done a great job with leg kicks, and he did start tearing up Volk's leg, Alexander's leg and whatnot. And Ty, he obviously he was trying to get the range, kind of get in range and throw them bomb left hooks and whatnot, but he just couldn't connect with any of them. But yeah, at the end of the day, he took him down, and then he finished him with that Ezekiel. I'm gonna try that tonight when I'm in jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna see if I can get that going. But because it is one of my favorite chokes, but I do it with the gi. I do like basically grab my gi, I put my hand around their neck, and then grab my gi, and then this one comes forward and kind of chokes them out. So that's one of my favorite submissions, and it's one of my go-tos. But I'm gonna try it with the no gi and see if I can make that work. Anyway, great finish by him. I think Ty's amazing. He's got, you know, still young, so he's still got a good prospect, you know what I mean, to just kind of build himself back up again. But he's a fun fighter to watch, so he's going to be there for a while because he's fun to watch.
You know, and not to mention, every now and then, if he catches the win, he catches the shoey.
The shoey, yeah, the butter shoey.
That value to his stock, I think.
I heard something funny recently. It was just one of those YouTube clips, like a comedy clip between Khabib, Islam, and Daniel Cormier, because you know they had that brotherhood and they crack joke with each other. And basically, I think Cormier done a shoey with Ty Tavasa back in the day or whatever. So anyway, Islam said to Cormier, like, next time you go to Starbucks, why don't you give him your shoe when you order your coffee, when you order your cappuccino, give him your shoe and what. I don't know, for some reason it just sounded funny to me. Even DC was busting up. I was like, that's kind of funny. Anyway,
I think the funniest part about it was his delivery.
Yeah, that's what it was.
His delivery, like, I know how he doesn't even know he's that funny, but it's his delivery most of the time.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's just blunt and direct.
All right, quickly finishing off this card. Manel Cape versus Felipe Dos Santos. Now, Manel Cape was created a lot of havoc and whatnot in a press conference. He was supposed to fight Kai France, and my guy was causing some troubles, man. But that wasn't Felipe Dos Santos was supposed to fight a contender series or waiting to fight a contender series, but then he was given the opportunity to fight here, and he stepped up because that was a great freaking fight. It was fight of the night. They went back and forth. He put it on him. He showed that he belongs immediately in the top 10 of the flyweight division.
Definitely.
So that was a good fight. I don't know if you saw that one.
I saw parts of it. I was hoping.
Bro, we lost you again, man. Maybe it might be best to keep the camera off.
Well, now oh, damn right.
Yeah, try that.
Yeah. Like in that fight, I wanted Manel to get smoked because I was like, you're talking to, well, now the former middleweight champion with like disrespect. I'm like, wow, you know. I'm thinking, wow, you know, obviously because Adesanya was trying to cover for Kai France, right? Because he was injured, and that guy was talking mess about him.
He threw a bottle at him.
Oh.
Yeah, he threw a bottle at him, man. Yeah.
Who threw a bottle at who? Who threw a bottle at who?
Manel threw the bottle at Kai.
So
at the conference.
See, that's he's very big.
No, that's why I think Izzy stood up as well, because not only did he try to abuse him, he threw something at him. You know what I mean?
He threw something. Oh wow, I didn't know that part, but. You know what, man? That guy's mystic. Maybe he put a crux on Izzy.
Never know. But I mean, my guy basically he put his name out there. You know what I mean? He made some hype and whatnot. So I mean, that's a fight to make next, I guess. I mean, definitely for them, for Kai and thing. I kind of wanted Manel to get smoked as well, just because of his attitude a little bit. But you know, he listen. Felipe Dos Santos put on. Hopefully I'm saying his name right, but he put on a great fight. He made a statement for sure that he belongs there.
He definitely did. I feel like they both made statements. I feel like the Manel guy, even though he said his thing against Izzy and whatever, and I was just like, yeah, well, I want him to get smoked, but I don't really know him before this. But regardless of all of that, like he did really well. He belonged in on the card at this level because he's on the main card, right?
Definitely.
So I feel like, and he's a character. He's a character as well. So let's see what he does.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know him before this, so now I do. So you know what I mean? So if I see him again, I'm like, all right, that's that dude. So we'll see what happens. All right, just quickly finishing off the main card. Heavyweight bout, performance of the night came from Justin Tafa versus Austin Lane. Justin Tafa with a beautiful knockout. I mean, it started off with an iPod. Do you remember they fought a while back and it was such a bad iPod that they stopped, the fight couldn't continue? I can't remember. This was somewhere in the US.
Yes, I remember that fight. I remember.
How crazy is that this fight started off with an eye poke immediately, and then I was like, holy shit! But he was able to carry on this time. And then he tried. He connected. He almost done a walk-away knockout, but then he done some vicious ground and pound to finish off the fight. And he got performance of the night for that one. So that was pretty awesome. And then lastly, the last fight was a light heavyweight bout, Tyson Pedro versus Anton Qualak. I can't say his name, but again, another amazing knockout. I believe it was that straight?
Yeah, you're there. The connection's kind of.
Can you hear me?
I think it wasn't. It was a 1-2.
What's that?
Yeah, no, can you hear me?
Yeah. I think it was a jab straight. I think it was a straight that connected with Tyson Pedro.
I said you're okay.
So, yeah, that finished off the main card. I didn't watch the prelims. It's something I need to get better at and spend my Sunday doing, because I used to watch all of them when I had Fight Pass. I just don't have Fight Pass anymore, and I'm watching them live, which is a bit more of a thing, because it started at 6 a.m. my time. Obviously, it's a bit later for you because it starts at 3 a.m. for you. But anyway, that was the main card in the UFC, man. Bro, look, sorry to cut it short, but I got these builders coming and whatnot. But I'm glad we got a chance to speak about this, because I felt like there was a lot to discuss with Israel and Sean Strickland. And next week you're gonna be in Thailand, man. So we're gonna do this. We'll figure out timings. Let's just figure that out. But you're gonna be in Thailand, man. So I just want to wish you safe travels. I hope this week you get everything sorted. You know, take your time, and when you get out there, just take your time, settle, and it's going to be an amazing adventure, man. It's going to be an amazing adventure. But we're still doing this. Slick will just be from Thailand, as he was a couple months ago, but now it's going to be kind of full time. You want to finish off with anything, bro? I think you're cutting out still.
I'm cutting out. Hello, you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying appreciate that. Thank you. I'm gonna just straighten out the rest of the week, and I'll keep you posted on all the movements. Random question: are you thinking of getting UFC 5 video game?
Yeah, that came out as well. That looks freaking good. I don't know. I'm very limited with my gaming. I'm still playing God of War. I end up playing 30 minutes a week, so I don't really have time. I got Street Fighter. My little brother's a gamer. He might get it. I remember having the UFC 2 game, and it was just it takes a lot of time, a lot of commitment to understand how to do all the movements and everything. But I don't know. I mean, this one comes, if you pre-order it, you get Fedor, Muhammad Ali, and Tyson. And Fedor's an interesting one because he was but I don't know. I can't really say I will or won't, but we'll see.
Okay, and the last sport for you, or last sport for everybody else: Dricus Duplessis versus Sean Strickland. If it was to happen, where would you put your money?
That's a good question. Sean did say he wrestled a lot. He's great at wrestling. He just doesn't use it. Duplessis, I can't say his name, but he would want to take him down, I guess. But he did knock down Whittaker in the last fight. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough one. I would want to go with Sean.
Oh, wow. Stalking him.
Yeah, stalking him down, defending takedowns, wrestling a bit, and being able to kind of pull up, like strike on the break and whatnot, just apply pressure. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Just wanted to hear your thoughts. All right. Well, like you said, you got to shift off. I just wanted to just throw some curveballs in there before we out. Yeah, we will. Well, I'll catch up with you soon anyway. But thanks for showing up.
All right, definitely. All right, well, people, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Listen, we'll be back on. I know last week was a bit of a break, and this one was a short one. We'll get back into a routine properly anyway. But thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, subscribing, all the other good stuff. And we'll catch you on next week's show. Peace.
Should I jump in? It didn't work.
Jump in. All right. We got you. All right. Let me get a quick picture. Got you, bro. All right. Peace, guys.